All right, this is Great White with Desert Moon. This is all the solos that Mark Kendall does. CVT lesson for Tim, standard tuning, and let's jump right in. The first subgroup that you see is at 4 seconds, and it's 7/5 on the G. It's just a trill. You're going to start with the 7, so we want both fingers down and just do some pull-offs and hammer-ons, a sequence of them. Just keep going. Okay. Then the next one comes in at 15 seconds, and it's middle finger 12 G, slide to 14. A lot of blues, pentatonics, double stops. You'll slide to 14, keep that finger down, and then go first finger 13 B vibrato. So it's really a hold. You're hearing 2 notes. And you do that 3 times. And then you have 12 on the G, B, and the E. Use your 3rd finger and just half step bend it. So after that, and the way to do it is to bar with the 3rd finger and back it with a few fingers so no strings slip out when you're bending. And we have to bend up or we'll end up pulling off the neck. And then 10-10 GB to 12-12 GB. Up to 12D, back to 10-10 GB, 10G, and then 10 GB. So that second line is this. Okay, and then the next one comes in at 21 seconds. It's back to the 15-second timestamp we did, but it's just 2 times though. 12, slide to 14, back to the 13B twice. And then the next time, you're going to grab 12 and 11, G and B, slide it up to the 14th and 13th fret, and strum twice. You do that 4 times. It's... Okay, as soon as you strike the string, slide it. Alright? The next one, you start it again, but you're only going to strum it once after you get there. And then go 12-12 barred with the index finger on the GB. So we have... I'll go over to 10G to 12D vibrato. So we have, on that last one, next one comes in at 30 seconds, double stop pull-offs. This is 12th fret G and B, 3rd finger. Have the 1st finger barring the 10th fret, because that's where you're pulling off to. And this is going to be 4 times. You're going to pull off and then go 12D. That's 4 times, which sounds like this. You can pick that a few different ways. I think he's doing downs, but you can go up, pull, down. A little more choppy with downs though. And then 10, 11, G, 13B, bend, vibrato. So it's... And then 15E, just hit instantly and slide down. Next one is 59 seconds, and this is 10D. We play the run. We're going to go up to that rest, actually to that vibrato. Same spot. Slide to 12, go 10G, 12D. Shift the 3rd finger to a bar on the 12th fret G and B, so now we're doing a double stop. And then 10th fret G, B, vibrato. Use that thumb as an anchor so your wrist can yank the vibrato. Then 12-10 DG, back to 12D. Then we're going to grab 12 on the G and B, bend, release. Once again, 3rd finger, backed with a few. Dig into that neck as you bend and release to 10G, okay? So we have... It's already a great subgroup right there. Okay, the next timestamp is at 103. It's 10-10 on the GB twice. And then 12D, quick rest, and then another hit. So, and then there's kind of a tag. In other words, some more stuff similar to that. Do the 10-10 again, twice. and then go 12D, open D, 12D vibrato. So that sounds like this. 10 GB, half step bend, and then hit it again. 10G, 12D, 10G, 12 on the G and B. Again, bend release. 10G, 12D, 10GB, 1210D, and then grab the 10 on the G and B, half step bend. Don't worry, I'm going to play all that again. So from that half step bend at the top of page 2. Okay, is that right? Or 10 GB, 1210D, then the 10 GB bend. Once again, I'm using the thumb as an anchor and yanking into the neck to create that. That actually comes in at 109. And this, a little tricky, it's a feel thing, but you're going to go 12D, lift the pressure off and go down up, and then reapply the pressure and go down. So it's 10 GB twice, and half step bend. You're going to see a little repeat going on. It's it'll go. And then next line, 10 12D, 10 GB, half step, 12 12D. So that's a good subgroup. 10 GB, 12D, do that again, and again. So it's 10 GB, 12 GB, bend release. 12D, just shift the third finger up. 10 GB, barred, half step bend, 12D vibrato. It's a lot of stuff, that last line that we just did. So Tim, it's a lot of little pentatonic phrases, a lot of blues phrases, and it's like Kendall, he's big on blues, so from there, the next timestamp that you're going to come across is 118, and that's going to be 12D with the third finger, picked twice, pulling off to 10, and then 12A. That's another subgroup. Subgroups can be tiny. And when you hear me say subgroup, repeat those. Even though he may not be, that's how you're going to get used to it. Memorize it quicker and get the right feel. 10th fret, barred on the D, G, and B twice. And then 10, 12, D vibrato. So that last line at 118. Okay, from there we move to page 3. And the next timestamp is... And that last note's going to hang out. 120, you'll go. More pentatonics. 10D, 12, 11, 10, 8, A, slide. And just slide it into nothing and then just stick your hand with the string. So that's another subgroup. Okay, next one is 133. It's 12 on the D string twice, 10G, back to 12D. That'll sound like this. It's another subgroup. Okay, then 12 GB to 10 GB. And I would actually make that a 6-note subgroup. In other words, since there's a rest there, you can go. Okay, and then 12, 12, G and B twice. Fret hand mute. So to fret hand mute, I would stay right where you're at and relieve the pressure and drop, you know, your middle finger down. Your index can back it, but no notes, and go down up like that. So you're gonna go, and then 12s to 10s on the G and B. So great subgroup. The and then the 12D. Then you could play all that. Alright, those frethead mutes sometimes are hard to hear, but it is in there. Then you're going to see repeat 103 melodic hook. That is really one of the primary parts that he goes back and repeats. So that's, I think, on page 1. Actually, I can tell you exactly. It's got to be on page 1. Timestamp 103. And then the next new thing is 218, 12D vibrato. And then double stop, G and B. Third finger, bend, release, pull off this time to the 10th fret. So normally we back it anyways, right? You just got to get the middle finger out of the way. We're going to go and snap. Don't just lift, snap. And then back to 12 GB. 10 GB, and then 12, 11, 10 D vibrato. Let's try that. Oops. Next one is 237. You'll hear a slide bar come in. Don't have a slide with me. But what he's doing is he's using the slide on the first fret on the G and B, hitting it and sliding it up to fret 10. You can hear it. It's the only way it can be done. Can't pull it off with this, can I? But that's really kind of an intro into the solo. First fret up to the 10th fret. No other slide. Then you're going to do 12, 11, GB again. You're going to recognize this. Sliding to 14, 13, strumming 3 times. And then 12 GB. We can subgroup that. And then 10 G. There's a pause there, so that'd be a good subgroup once again, which would sound like this. Okay, after that, 12 G, 13 B. I have that written flipped over, don't I? Should be sliding to 13, 14, so it's going to be 12, 11, sliding to 13, 14. Rest, 3 hits, 12 GB, slide to 10. Oops. And then the 12D. So that's a good little to get used to, sliding the double stops. But that is a 12, 11. If I had it marked as a 12, 13, you would have been like, what? That's impossible. And that's done 2 times. So it's... Okay, then double stop, 10 GB, rest, 12D, and then down up on the 12 G and B. Actually down up, 10th fret, down, slide. It'll be, but it's fast. But I want you to hear it slow. When you're doing those, try to mute the G with the tip of the 3rd finger and angle it to where you're also muting the high E. Same thing when you transition to the index finger. 244 is our next timestamp. It's 10D, 3rd finger sliding to 12. It's a good subgroup because it's only 4 parts. It's slide to 12, bar the 10th fret GB twice, and then bend a half step. And that's it for page 3. So we have page 4 to do and half of page 5. 12th fret on the D, down up, palm mute this time. Here's another good subgroup for you to work on. And it goes like this. So I'm going palm mute down, up, 10th fret GB twice, half step bend the second one. And that's actually done 3 times. 248 is our next timestamp, and it's 12D, 3rd finger again. Barring down to 12 on the G and B, and then 10 GB, another half step bend. And that's another good subgroup. See, I'm just flattening the finger rather than lifting it. It's easier just to do that, to just make sure it clears the D string. So if you did the 3 prior, and then the next line is 12D, 10 GB, 12 GB, bend release, 10s and 12s. Let's try that. Shift up, a reverse this time up to 12D. So 10 GB and 12 GB. Let's try that whole line. So when you clear off a double stop or lead into one or another note, and you're doing the knuckle shift, just like I said, I can't emphasize enough, make sure you clear that note so it's not ringing into the next note. That's a hold. That's a whole different thing. That's when you have a line over the strings in your tabs, like these. You got notes ringing together. Okay, so then the third line down, we've got 12 GB, there's a lot of these in here. So back it with the middle and index. We're going to bend release and then double stop the 10s. And then 12D, back to 10 GB, back to 12D. Okay, so, and yes. A lot of times people go to bend and the B string will drop out. Keep that downward pressure on the bend as you're bending it up, or that string will slip out. Okay, the next one of the faster riffs in here, it's subgrouped for you. It's 4 notes and it goes 4 times, and it's 12G with the 3rd finger. We're going to bend, release, and pull off the 10. So we may as well stick a couple fingers behind it, get the middle finger out of the way. It's this. Yeah. So bend, release, it's a whole step, so it's a 2-fret bend, release, keep that downward pressure on the release. Snap the 10 and go